A very warm welcome to COMPUTEX 2021 in Taiwan. I want to greet all of our customers, all of our partners, all of our friends, and everybody who, just like I am, everybody who is excited about the prospects of technology and about the impact which technology is going to have on the world. And when I think about the future of the world, I see this massive opportunity of probably 50 billion intelligent and securely connected devices in the year 2025. And that goes hand in hand with a significant change in what technology is going to do. In the past, technology has become very fast and very positive in terms of responsiveness. I hit a button and the machine does what I want it to do. However, my future vision of technology for us as people is very different. It is about a world where technology is actually automated, is actually advancing and anticipating what we want. It is a world where simple tasks become automatic and complex tasks are being foreseen by the machines we are interacting with. And all of that is going to be enabled by what we call the intelligent and secure edge, which will be complementing in a perfect way the cloud computing systems which are in place already by today. And here is the opportunity for society, realizing, dreaming, and getting at work for this world of 50 billion secure and smart connected devices is a challenging and complex task. I'd actually go that far and say it is a task which cannot be accomplished by any company alone. And for that reason, I am actually very, very proud that today, for my keynote, I'm showing up here in very close partnership and very close collaboration with a number of very proud and strong technology leadership companies, such as Advantech, Amazon Web Services, BMW, Garmin, Microsoft, Samsung, and TSMC. Now, for my keynote, through the next 60 minutes, I will be also working with two of our colleagues from NXP, so Shelley van Dijk from our automotive business, and Ron Martino from our Intelligent Edge business is going to be with me on stage today to give you fantastic and what I personally think is exciting examples of how we bring the power of the edge into life. We can all feel and experience the acceleration of that digital transformation to the edge in our everyday lives. It is all about the difference how we pay, how we consume, how we move. All of these everyday activities are facilitated now in a very different way through edge applications. And that is mirroring back also in the performance and in the speed of our business. So on behalf of the entire NXP team, I'm very proud to share with you again that we were included in the S&P 500 index, which marks a major milestone in the history of NXP. And with that, it goes without saying that we are also proud that we just shared with Wall Street that the Q1 of calendar year 2021 marked another record level in our revenue achievement. Now, that acceleration of the business is also going hand in hand, not only for NXP, but for the entire industry, to an unprecedented situation when it comes to the shortage of chip supplies. Demand for silicon, especially for silicon for the intelligent edge, has accelerated at an unprecedented pace since somewhere late Q3, early Q4 last year. And clearly, we all see it in the newspapers, in the headlines every single day. Many sectors are now suffering from very, very tight wafer supply. And I can assure you that everybody within the NXP team, with our partners, is busy 24/7 to optimize the supply to our customers, to the industries we are so proud to serve. Now, next to all of that hard work, there is another element which I believe is truly important to ease that situation going forward, and that is the fast pace towards innovation. The faster we can move to smaller nodes, to more modern technologies, the better is going to be the availability of the required capacity. And I'm actually very proud to share here and today that we are announcing today, together with TSMC, 2 new flagship products which are ready for mass production, which very, very much match that pattern of innovation to help the capacity situation. And I'm talking about 2 16-nanometer FinFET processors, which are first of their kind in the industry. The one is for radar processing applications in the car, the other one for intelligent gateways in the car. So 2 16-nanometer processors running in the factories of TSMC, ready for mass production, are being launched with this meeting today. And my colleague Shelley will give you more details later during the keynote. At this point, it is good to zoom out a little bit more and take a bigger perspective on where are we in the evolution of the semiconductor market. The semiconductor market growth has always been driven by big waves of innovation. So if you go back in history, between the year 2000 and 2010, that was about computers coming up, PCs, laptop computers. The next decade, between 2010 and 2020, clearly characterized by the up-and-coming smartphones, tablets, and certainly cloud computing. And my vision, our vision at NXP, for the next 10 years is about the secure edge, the rise of the secure edge, the 50 billion devices in the middle of this period from 2020 to 2030, which are complementing the cloud computing centers in place already and making our lives so much easier. So this is all about applications in the smart home, connected cars, industrial automation, and all sorts of other smart connected devices. Now let me make this a little bit more specific relative to the competences required, the technology competences, and why do we believe as NXP that we have an unrivaled portfolio and position in terms of assets and market understanding to be the leader of this trend. We think it really takes 4 pillars from a technology perspective which you need to be successful. It starts with sensing. Precision sensing and ranging is what most of these edge devices need. And to make it even more touchable, think about a smartwatch like this one here on my wrist. When I speak about precision sensing, it is about new functions like measuring the speed of my pulse, measuring oxygen levels. These are really elements which are new, and doctors are actually saying what these new smart devices are achieving is what medical equipment couldn't achieve in the past 20 years. So it's absolutely amazing what we make work here on the basis of our technology. Now the next step is the processing part. Artificial intelligence and machine learning are becoming major elements of the innovation advancement in that space. And NXP is very proud to have the broadest and best portfolio, scalable from very, very low levels all the way up to layerscape high-performance processors in that pillar. Then secure connectivity. Think about mobile payment. I don't have to have the coins anymore, the cash in my pockets. I just pay with the watch. But that goes again hand in hand with security. because I want to be sure that my payments are at the same levels of security that I've been used to in the past from credit card payments. But it's also about data. I talked about health data, which is being measured, medical data, which is being measured and probably stored by my watch. I want to be sure that that very private data is secured. So the idea of security and safety is becoming paramount for the success of these solutions. And then last but not least, power management. There is no way anything of this works in a convenient way if we as an industry don't achieve the lowest levels of power consumption in all of the semiconductors which are included. And very practically speaking, this is simply down to the idea that I don't want to recharge my watch every 2 hours. All of that taken together has to be compounded, has to be surrounded by safety and security. Now, I promised you in the beginning of this keynote practical examples which we are excited about how that technology is at work today. Now, this smartwatch actually, which I'm very proud of, is the new Venue 2 from Garmin. And I think the best way to speak about that is that we listen to Phil from Garmin, who has actually worked successfully on the design together with NXP on this watch. So Phil, let us know how you think about what makes this watch so special.
Thank you, Kurt. Garmin really values its relationship with NXP. Our team set out to build a fitness-focused wearable with industry-leading battery life and a beautiful user experience. And we did just that with our recent launch of the Venue 2 smartwatch. NXP played an essential role in our efforts. NXP's i.MX RT500 crossover microcontroller provides amazing computational power and graphics with extreme low power modes, enabling the Venue 2 to offer double the battery life and a colorful and animation-rich overhaul of the user experience compared to the first-generation Venue. We've heard it said that low power is NXP's superpower, and all of us here at Garmin couldn't agree more.
Thank you so much, Phil, for sharing your insights with us. And by the way, I really have to admit it's always a pleasure to work with you guys at Garmin, especially when the outcome and the impact is such a beautiful product. I mean, I'm in the end proud to carry that. And I'm proud because I know it is powered by NXP. We are showing here the RT500 crossover processor, which delivers exactly on that promise which Phil was talking about, which is very, very enhanced levels of power consumption. And I can tell you from a practical use point perspective, it does make a difference when you do not have to always worry about the power level of your battery, and you can be sure the charge holds up. Just like Phil said, it's 2x of what used to be the levels in similar products earlier. We will take secure connectivity to the next level. And the way we do this is ultra-wideband. And based on ultra-wideband with our NXP Trimension portfolio. Now let's discuss this from the consumer's perspective. I talked earlier about the fantastic of mobile payments making cash and coins redundant. We follow the very same idea here to make mechanical keys, which we are all carrying with us, make these keys redundant and get that functionality of opening a door mechanically in a much more secure and a much more convenient way embedded into edge devices, be it phones or be it eventually watches. And this is an idea which NXP has been pioneering, and we've started to build a whole portfolio around it, a portfolio of products which are leading edge in terms of performance in spatial awareness and accuracy in real time, but also a portfolio of products which are enabling use cases, not only in the mobile space, but ranging across the IoT space, the secure intelligent edge, and automotive. NXP is building here on its deep and long-term experience of building ecosystems as we've done in the past with secure NFC for mobile payment. And that's why I'm very proud today to give you two real-life examples of where we have brought that technology as of today. The first one is actually in automotive. We are at a point that in the second half of this year, several car companies will be launching cars which can be opened in a very secure and convenient way via your mobile device, based on NXP's ultra-wideband technology. Ultra-wideband technology is really set to become very, very handy for car owners everywhere. It promises both increased security and added ease when using car keys. Just take as an example BMW, as you can see here, which will use ultra-wideband technology in the new BMW iX to power BMW Digital Key Plus. And you can think about many new fantastic use cases, like sharing cars. I could actually send the authorization of using a certain car to my partner by email. So it would be much easier then that my partner picks up my car somewhere, even in the absence of a mechanical key. The other use case we would like to present you here is something we are proudly doing together with Samsung. We are proud that we have introduced ultra-wideband technology in the Samsung Galaxy Note 21 Plus. And earlier this year, Samsung launched the Galaxy Smart Tech Plus, which are a very smart idea to actually go find anything which you typically tend to lose very easy. One great example is actually a keyring. Many of us are just dropping the keyring somewhere and we don't find it again. Now, if you put one of these tags along the keyring, you can navigate and locate it very easily via your mobile phone. I think this is really a fantastic example of how the secure edge is going to make our life so much easier. Now, thanks again to the Samsung team for an innovation which I think really matters. You see that the high precision spatial awareness in real time of our ultra-wideband products really is impactful in a use case like finding again your keyring. So thanks again to the Samsung team for making this work together with NXP. Now at this stage, I move to our next topic. We have focused so far on high precision sensing as one of the technology vectors which is enabling the secure and smart edge. The next vector we want to focus on in this keynote is high efficient processing with advanced AI and ML algorithms. And who better could do this than our Executive Vice President and General Manager of our Secure Edge processing business, Ron Martino. Ron, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Kurt. Welcome from Austin, Texas. I'm Ron Martino, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Edge Processing at NXP. These patents represent innovations we've made over the years that are leading us to a world that anticipates and automates. Everyone talks about AI, but understanding what it really means and its value in finding ways of solving problems is essential. There's so many opportunities, yet there are myths about AI, such as it's expensive to deploy, it requires massive processors, and it's too complex. But the truth is the opposite. AI doesn't always need large, complex, costly processors. And you don't need a PhD in mathematics if you have the right development tools. So how do we enable a world that anticipates and automates? With a foundation of edge computing that complements the cloud, local edge processing reduces the cost of ownership and simplifies tasks that need to go to the cloud. Device makers should be able to choose an edge processor that's purpose-built for affordable artificial intelligence with high performance, low power processing, and built-in security. Keep in mind, there's no one-size chip that fits all. You shouldn't have to use an applications processor when a powerful crossover MCU can do the job at much lower system cost. On the other hand, there are many applications that need advanced machine learning response. And that's where processors with integrated acceleration fit the bill. The other critical foundation is software. It has to be easy to use, like our EIQ development environment. With its graphical user interface, it's designed to reduce complexity. Algorithms can be enabled across our MCUs and our processors, and it's flexible, where you can bring your own model or you can import a cloud-developed model. For those who want more turnkey, local voice and face recognition solutions can cut down development time. Pre-configured machine learning algorithms can be deployed on the device itself, inside a door lock, for example. It's all done on a single MCU, and it can recognize faces in the blink of an eye, and it cannot be spoofed with a photo. If you're like me and one of the 51% of consumers who purchased at least one smart device during the pandemic, you may have faced a few challenges when you wanted to add the device into your home. Devices from different manufacturers are aligned with different IoT ecosystems. Each ecosystem uses different standards, making it difficult for manufacturers and consumers to connect things together. Making a home smart shouldn't be a chore, and it shouldn't require a super user. What if every one of us could easily add intelligent devices into the smart home network so that these devices can interact and understand each other? That's the goal of Matter, previously known as Project CHIP. Matter is the unified IP-based connectivity protocol built on proven technologies that will run on existing networks like Thread and Wi-Fi. It's designed to simplify this interaction across smart home devices from different manufacturers. With interoperability, we'll be able to quickly add devices for a home that anticipates and automates. Lights. I can control them from my wearable or a smartphone. I can play music and it follows me throughout the house. But where we're heading, a truly smart home doesn't wait for my commands or presence to take action. The devices can learn and behave according to my preferences, and they can learn from each other. They can interact to determine the conditions of their surroundings. They can understand the context of the situation. Our homes can become occupancy aware. They can recognize when the house is empty and then automatically arm the security system, turn off the TV, lower the blinds, and adjust the lights in the HVAC. Now we're making the smart home a vibrant home. It's becoming a true digital zen. How do we transform our digital zen into a green digital zen? Each home can interact with other homes in the neighborhood or city to understand and balance the load. It's like going behind the scenes of the meter. Dishwashers can run and EV charging can be done at optimal times without stressing the grid. But there's one problem that we as a society need to address. Most of these devices are idle. This is wasted vampire power. You may be shocked to hear that 1 year of wasted vampire power across the US can power the entire New York City with all its skyscrapers for 3 full years. What a monumental waste of energy. Energy efficiency and intelligence must be designed into everything, starting with the chips. This is where NXP differentiates. Our Energy Flex architecture provides a wide range of power options that are customizable for end applications. With this, we can eliminate more than 90% of the energy waste. So how do we apply this same cost-effective AI edge technology to factory automation? With Industry 4.0, we're seeing a fast transition into productive and safe cyber-connected factories. people work alongside robots and smart equipment, connected robots can make intelligent decisions based on the context of the entire factory floor. Data is used for automation, efficiency, and safety. To reach this new era of manufacturing, key foundational technologies are needed. We already spoke about one of the enablers, machine learning. All of that applies equally to Industry 4.0. Another key enabler is predictable connectivity between machines. Enter time-sensitive networking, or TSN. Using NXP processors and microcontrollers that integrate gigabit Ethernet with TSN, you can dedicate and prioritize data streams from any machine to every machine. For example, data from the CNC milling machine to a robotic arm can be prioritized for real-time delivery. Meanwhile, another machine can be sending lower priority data to the predictive maintenance system. When machines collaborate intelligently at the edge, we can experience far greater situational awareness, a factory floor that anticipates and automates. This leads to higher levels of efficiency and productivity and a safer work environment. You can use AI vision edge processing for flexible virtual safe zones. Without moving fences, you can shut down or slow down the equipment if an operator gets too close to an area or a machine where it's potentially unsafe. The edge process data can be securely shared with a digital twin in the cloud for further analysis of the entire manufacturing setup. Another connectivity capability is UWB. Like Kurt mentioned earlier, couple it with face recognition on our IDMX processors, and you have two-factor authentication, and it's all hands-free. NXP's expanded AI ecosystem includes the world's leading providers of cloud services, development tools, and board solution makers. My next guest is an ecosystem partner focused on bringing AI to the edge. Let's hear from Miller Chang, President, Embedded IoT Group at Advantech.
Advantech is devoted to the mission of enabling an intelligent planet by co-creating the IoT solutions with business partner and ecosystem. We realize there's no one can drive AIoT development alone. Partnering with NXP, Advantech accompany our client to walk through the challenge of the new embedded technology and business deployment. Leveraging NXP's latest AI-native IDMX AM Plus processor with NXP EIQ machine learning development toolkit, Advantech can offer a full range of embedded products and services, help achieving your goal in smart factory application.
Thank you, Miller, for sharing your perspective. For a society that desires to protect personal data and critical business information, securing our edge devices from unauthorized access is a basic necessity. We must be able to trust our devices. But how do you address hackers, especially when bad players are getting more technologically sophisticated day by day? How do you keep one step ahead? At NXP, we believe strongly in building products from the ground up with a security by design approach. Our new EdgeLock Secure Enclave is integrated into our latest processors. It's pre-configured to help ease the complexity of implementing robust, system-wide, and intelligent security. How do you keep an edge device secure long after it's in the field? It requires nonstop trusted management services. That's why we partnered with Microsoft. Let's hear from Roanne Sones, Microsoft's Corporate Vice President of Azure Edge and Platform.
I'm excited about the deepening edge partnership between NXP and Microsoft and what this will enable you, our mutual device builders, to create. We are combining NXP's expertise in silicon with Microsoft's expertise in software and cloud to create a whole new class of secured SOCs for the IoT market. The IMX8 ULPCS with Azure Sphere integrates flexibility with security to offer a fast track for your innovation. Whether you are creating secured industrial equipment, infrastructure, home appliances, personal devices, it's all possible with this SOC. This SOC is really the first of its kind. It's designed with Microsoft Pluton on EdgeLock Secure Enclave, delivering a hardware root of trust at the silicon level. It also includes a Microsoft OS with over 10 years of continual updates to protect and defend your devices against ongoing attacks. We obsess over security so you don't have to. Together, we can give customers flexibility and control over their IoT environment and the peace of mind that when it comes to security, Microsoft, NXP, and you have their backs.
Thank you, Roanne. We busted the myths about artificial intelligence. It's accessible. It's not expensive. You can run it on affordable edge processors and simplify development with easy-to-use tools. As our devices become more intelligent and can share insights with each other to make decisions, these systems will achieve a level of contextual awareness for a world that truly anticipates and automates. But most importantly, these systems must be built on a foundation of uncompromised security. For this new era of the intelligent edge, the NXP team and I are committed to bring to the market cost-effective, secure edge processing solutions which perform meaningful tasks independent of human interaction, but consistent with human desire. We're now going to talk about automotive, and it's my pleasure to introduce Shelley Van Dyke, our Vice President of Strategy for Automotive Processing.
I'd like to talk about a foundational element in automotive, trust. We want to trust our cars because many of us depend on our cars to get us where we want to go, to keep us safe along the way, and to keep our information secure. Security is foundational to building that trust. NXP has a great heritage in security from the first immobilizer in 1990. And now today, we have a variety of security capabilities from a hardware secure element to secure networking and new levels of security for accessing your cars thanks to ultra-wideband. But security is just one aspect that adds complexity to the car of the future. There's more. The car is the most complex edge device in the world. I think of it as a factory on wheels. It has to coordinate across many machines and deliver the right actuation at the right time, such as to stop at a red light, accelerate at a green light. Further complexity comes from stringent safety requirements, software complexity. Already we're at 100 to 200 million lines of code, more than a spaceship. And while we've heard that an autonomous car will generate 4 terabytes of data an hour, that could be far into the future. But even today's cars generate about 50 gigabytes of data a day, and they need to transfer 1 to 2 gigabytes with all the sensor data and other information that the electronic systems generate. For all of the computing in the car, there are about 50 to 100 electronic control units in a modern car. And on top of that, there are ever more and better sensors being added that enhance safety and information. The networking infrastructure, or the nervous system, has increasing challenges. Physically, the wiring harness weighs over 75 kilograms in an average car today, with the wiring length 1 to 2 kilometers, 100 plus connections to be made. We are ideally positioned through our heritage in automotive and in security, through which we have built many technology leadership positions and application leadership positions. While high compute power is important, automakers expect us to deliver more: safe and secure, robust and high quality, efficient, scalable across their entire fleet, not just for one car model in their lineup. Let me walk through an example that involves 2 of our flagship processors. NXP Green Driving delivers powertrain domain control across all types of electric vehicles for efficient and safe vehicle propulsion using our high-performance real-time SoC, the S32S, in the Greenbox development platform. NXP Connected Driving delivers the service-oriented gateway using our vehicle network processor, the S32G, in our Gold Box. This enables vehicle-wide secure connectivity and cloud connectivity. Secure cloud connectivity brings the power of the data center to the vehicle edge and helps OEMs unlock the value of vehicle data to enable new use cases. Our Greenbox processes in-vehicle data. Our battery management system precisely monitors the battery status. Input for the green box are precision battery management system data plus data from traction motors. In parallel, the gateway, based on the gold box here, receives data from the cloud including weather, traffic density, road gradient. The goal is to improve range precision. The cloud data are transferred to the green box to optimize the calculation of the battery range. The cloud data are enhanced input to the power management system algorithms. This is AI/ML applied in a very focused way for system optimization, suitable for the specific road, place, and weather that the driver is experiencing. This clearly proves the complementary power of edge computing and the cloud. To meet the challenges that customers are having with centralized access to vehicle-wide data that can work securely and collaboratively with the cloud, we knew that we needed partners, and I'm very excited about our strategic partnership with Amazon Web Services. Let's hear more about this from Bill Vass at AWS.
Hi, my name is Bill Vass. I'm VP Technology at AWS Web Services. Our team runs about 80 different services that include connected car, IoT, edge processing, streaming, and a whole host of other services. We're very excited to be working with NXP on their S32G vehicle network processor and the ability to run Greengrass locally in the car, which extends the cloud to the car and cloud processing in the car, along with SageMaker, so local machine learning models can be executed and created to really advance the capability of what can be done on the edge in the car. As vehicle manufacturers move to software-defined connected vehicles that are electrified, it really allows you to extend advanced cloud capabilities into the car. The work we do together will really help vehicle manufacturers adopt this technology and make it seamless and easy for them to integrate and expand, do over-the-air updates, and continue to advance the capabilities of their cars throughout the life cycle of the automobile.
Thank you, Bill, and thanks to the AWS team. Together, we have great potential for unlocking services and capabilities not even thought of today, all based on intelligently combining cloud and in-vehicle data. The key domain in the car that is going to deliver this capability is the gateway. Let's unbox that and take a look at the S32G vehicle network processor at the core of the gateway. S32G is a new type of automotive processor built on a new platform for automotive. All of our S32 products have the capability to support the highest levels of functional safety, security, over-the-air updates, and a software platform that spans from our MCUs to the processors. The S32G has dedicated accelerators for networking functions, which optimize performance and free up the main CPU cores for our customers' applications, such as those cloud services we just talked about. The S32G has a development platform called the Gold Box, which has a lot of flexibility for customers, such as 4 key automotive networking interfaces and expansion for memory or AI/ML. The S32G is just one of the products in our complete family of S32 processors for every domain in the vehicle. Radar for safe driving, the S for safe electric vehicles, and the S32Ks are MCUs for many end nodes throughout the car. These products have common peripherals and software infrastructure for customers to optimize the reuse of software and hardware. And I'm very proud to announce today that our 2 flagship processors, the S32R and the S32G, have made the next leap in optimizing size, power efficiency, and performance. They are ready for mass production in 16-nanometer FinFET technology. This is from our key manufacturing partner, TSMC. NXP brings security, enterprise-level networking, safety, and quality from our decades of automotive experience, and this builds on TSMC's leading manufacturing technologies. What we are announcing today is the release into volume production of NXP's S32G2 vehicle network processor and S32R294 radar processor. Both are on TSMC's advanced 16-nanometer FinFET process technology. We are working on migrating our S32 platform processors to increasingly advanced process nodes. This is relevant as automobiles continue to evolve into powerful computing platforms. NXP's continued innovation in the S32 family is designed to help car makers simplify the evolution of the vehicle architecture and deliver the fully connected and configurable car of tomorrow. Thank you to TSMC for their partnership in reaching this important step. The S32R and S32G processors are part of NXP's strategy of offering a scalable S32 core architecture. They have harmonized software infrastructure, safety and security concepts, and common peripherals that work across vehicle domains. Plus, accelerators enhance performance in key applications. This can greatly reduce time to market and system cost. So in summary, yes, the car is the most complex edge device. With safe, secure, and intelligent processing, we can help our customers greatly reduce that complexity, accelerating the time to market and reducing system cost. That's our mission here at NXP. With that, I'll hand back to Kurt.
Thank you so much, Shelley, for what I felt was a very insightful journey into how the future transformation of the architecture of the electronic system in the car looks like and what leading role NXP is going to play in that transformation. 2021 is only marking the beginning of that edge era going forward. And it's going to be a long, a challenging, but also a very, very rewarding era. NXP is going to be everywhere. Our end markets, from automotive to industrial IoT, mobile, and communication infrastructure, they match the growth applications for secure and smart edge devices. We do have the R&D muscle, we do have the product portfolio to be the relevant leader in that development. Now at this point, I want to thank you all very much for your attention. I hope we could give you some inspiring thoughts about what is ahead of all of us. And I wish you a fantastic and insightful time here at COMPUTEX. Thank you very much.
Ni hao, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're joining us from today. It's great to be presenting at COMPUTEX again. I've been in the chip industry for more years than I care to remember, and COMPUTEX has always been an event I look forward to attending every year. And in my opinion, this event represents the heartbeat of the compute industry. Now, I'm very confident that next year I'll have the opportunity to present to you in person, as well as meet with many of you who make ARM the world's largest compute ecosystem. We've seen tremendous growth over the past decade. Just over 10 years ago, our partners shipped nearly 7 billion ARM chips in a single year. Now, fast forward to 2021, and that same ecosystem has recently shipped more than 7 billion ARM chips in a single quarter. And with more than 190 billion ARM-based chips shipped, the ARM architecture is clearly the world's most pervasive and indispensable compute architecture. Deployments of ARM-based devices are on such an accelerated pace that I'm quite confident that 100% of the world's digitally shared data will soon be securely processed on ARM-based technology at some point in its life, either at the endpoint or in the data networks or the cloud. Now, of course, with such great demand for ARM technology, we won't ever stop innovating at ARM. The ARM architecture is not static. We continue to evolve to meet the ever-changing needs of the computing world. In the 10 years since we introduced the 64-bit processing in ARM v8, you can see that we've added a number of extensions and features, including a number of security enhancements. But bringing a new architecture to market is in fact a massive undertaking. And in fact, it's really a once-in-a-decade occurrence for us. And recently we announced ARM v9, the next major milestone for the ARM architecture for the decade ahead. ARM v9 will apply across all our CPUs, from those smallest microcontrollers to the largest server-based designs. There are lots of great new innovations in ARM v9, including increased performance and efficiency. But as ARM v9 will be at the forefront of the next 300 billion ARM chips, the additional security benefits it offers will be essential in securing the world's data. Securing the world's data is the greatest technology challenge in the world today, and the threats to our data never stop, which is why the ARM v9 roadmap introduces the ARM confidential compute architecture. This technology shields portion of code and data from access or modification while in use, even from privileged software, by performing computation in a hardware-based secure environment. ARM confidential compute introduces the concept of dynamically created realms, usable by all applications, in a region that is separate from both the secure and non-secure worlds. Now, for example, in business applications, realms can protect commercially sensitive data and code from the rest of the system while it's in use, at rest, or in transit. In addition to adding new data protection layers, we've taken a vital step in improving the security of the world's software. ARM has collaborated with Google to develop a technology called memory tagging extensions to uncover vulnerabilities before they can ever be exploited. Support of memory tagging extensions are an integral part of the first generation of ARM v9 CPUs available in devices next year. ARM v9 will play a critical role in securing our digital future and increasing our trust in intelligent devices which process our personal and professional data. Now, for example, we've already seen increased use of technology to record and manage personal health data during the pandemic. It's just one of the several inevitable compute trends that accelerated during this time. As part of this dynamic, healthcare and other industries are accelerating their adoption of machine learning and artificial intelligence. For example, more than half of the 500 healthcare executives surveyed by Optum said that they are accelerating or expanding their AI deployment timelines in response to the pandemic. And according to a recent KPMG survey of enterprise decision makers, half of the respondents say that their organizations sped up the adoption of AI in direct response. What all this means for the compute industry is that we have an opportunity to accelerate ubiquitous intelligence across all our devices. But doing this means asking our devices to run incredibly complex workloads with greater performance and energy efficiency that's available today. The nature of these complex workloads is such that a one-size-fits-all chip designed for general-purpose compute with big single-threaded processors are simply not enough. Modern SoCs with dedicated compute blocks for different tasks and greater efficiency are required. ARM has been enabling an SoC revolution for several years now, as mobile and IoT devices have always had stringent requirements related to energy efficiency and cost. These devices are deployed in such large volumes that have inevitably meant designing customized chips. Beyond mobile and IoT, we've seen lower volume applications with even tougher requirements, such as aerospace, increasingly looking to the ARM ecosystem for purpose-built SoCs. Now, we're entering a new era of compute where AI and ML will cut across every computing environment and will be enabled by specialized processing. ARM has been enabling our partners with the flexibility to build specialized processing for 30 years. But now, we're on such an accelerated pace of billions of ARM-based chips shipped every quarter, I can confidently say that the next decade of compute will be one where specialized processing becomes the new normal for computing, and all of this built on the foundation of the ARM v9 architecture. ARM's approach of providing a diverse suite of IP components such as CPUs, NPUs, and GPUs allows our partners to develop purpose-built systems they need for ubiquitous intelligence and other emerging challenges. Different computing problems need different mixes of compute components. In IoT, for example, many devices need to interpret their worlds, and a combination of our Cortex-M cores and Ethos micro neural processors are a perfect solution. In automotive systems, partners will increasingly be combining many large and small CPUs with GPUs, NPUs, and their own IP to generate the right computing solution for the new autonomous systems. Now, this is happening across the entire computing spectrum, including client solutions and our Neoverse platform for edge-to-cloud infrastructure. We know that digital experiences are richer and more dynamic than ever before, but growing challenges brought forth by a combination of 5G, AI, and the end of Moore's Law requires a new approach. That approach needs to be scalable and flexible across entire systems. We call this total compute, a blueprint to address tough challenges around the need for higher performance compute and increasingly complex systems. Total compute solutions bring together the powerful assets of the ARM platform, from software, tools, physical IP, and standards to our full suite of hardware IP to deliver flexible solutions across premium, performance, and efficiency market tiers. Our partners can then in turn build the best products and solutions while unlocking new experiences for the entire ecosystem. Consumers will be able to immerse themselves in stunning, lifelike 4K and 8K content on their TVs, with flawless user interface and even faster app launching times. With smartphones, they can record and edit richer and richer content, and then share instantly over high-speed 5G networks, and their ARM-based laptops will increase productivity and stretch battery life to days, not just hours. Now, all of this will be delivered on the secure foundations of our new ARM v9 architecture, enabling trusted digital services for the next decade. This is the future of specialized processing. Now, last week, we launched our latest manifestation of total compute solutions and our first Cortex CPUs on ARM v9. Cortex X2 is our first v9 flagship CPU for ultimate performance from the Cortex Custom X program. X2 delivers another 16% improvement in performance compared to Cortex X1, running on the same process at the same frequency. Cortex A710, it's our first v9 big CPU, with a remarkable 30% energy efficiency gain over our previous generation, Cortex A78. Now, our first new little core in 4 years is the Cortex A510, which delivers an impressive 35% performance improvement compared to the previous generation, Cortex A55, making it our most capable little core ever. The Cortex A510 hits performance levels approaching those of previous generation big cores, making it ideal for smartphone and home markets with a power profile that's perfect for the wearables market. For uncompromised performance, the v9 CPU cluster is now supported by a brand new scalable dynamic shared unit. This allows a maximum of 8 Cortex X2 cores while still staying true to ARM's DNA, and that's efficiency. The potential for performance in this new CPU system will open up many possibilities across different markets and devices, and I'd like to touch on one just in particular. Now, it's still early in the ARM laptop adoption curve, and we're beginning to see huge momentum on many fronts. I'm excited by how this technology can scale. A new laptop solution could see Cortex X2 deliver 40% more peak single-thread performance when compared to 2020 mainstream laptop silicon, yet provide all-day battery life. Now, that unleashes all kinds of new possibilities. The visual experience also remains critical to how consumers interact with and enjoy their devices. So this year, we're introducing the widest range of Mali GPUs we've ever announced at a single launch, tailored to the needs of the client markets and complementing the ARM v9 CPUs and our total compute solutions. Now, Mali continues to be the world's #1 shipping graphics processor, with yet again more than 1 billion GPUs shipped by our partners in the last year. But it's not just volume where Mali leads the way. It's also the most scalable and versatile GPU available, with an ambitious performance trajectory to match. Mali G710 is the highest performing GPU from ARM ever. Aimed at flagship and premium smartphones and the growing Chromebook market, it delivers a 20% performance improvement and 35% ML uplift over the previous generation. Mali G510 and Mali G310 bring new features and technologies to the performance and ultra-efficient segments, powering premium graphic experiences from a wide range of devices, from digital TVs and set-top boxes through VR, AR, and wearables. Our solutions approach with Total Compute does not stop with our client offerings, as we're applying these design principles across our entire IP portfolio. This includes our ARM Neoverse platform for edge-to-cloud infrastructure solutions, targeting 4 key segments: hyperscale and cloud computing, 5G, HPC, and infrastructure edge. These are the markets that realize the future of computing, which require them to break away from the status quo of one-size-fits-all, with more flexibility and the design freedom to achieve the right level of compute for the right application. Now, we give our partners incredible headroom for innovation in these areas, whereas traditional architectures have really limited them. For example, if one of our silicon partners or cloud service providers wanted to build a specialized SoC solution tuned for video processing and streaming, they can customize the number of CPU cores and match with the right level of GPU, storage interconnect, and interfaces to ensure they have the right amount of performance, utilization, and efficiency. This ability to customize is why Amazon Web Services is realizing unique benefits with its Neoverse-based Graviton 2 SoC, and why cloud providers such as Alibaba, Tencent, and Oracle are seeing really impressive results in their initial testing or deployment of Neoverse-based platforms. Enabling specialized processing has been a focal point for us since the inception of the Neoverse line of platforms, given the variety of workloads and applications. A trend we expect to see accelerated with the recent launch of our next-generation ARM Neoverse platforms, the Neoverse V1 and N2. Neoverse V1 is the first in a new performance computing tier, delivering significant uplifts in vector and machine learning, along with high CPU performance, while still providing the SoC design flexibility they require. The Neoverse N2 platform is the first based on the ARM v9 with improvements to security, power efficiency, and performance. It delivers 40% higher single-threaded performance compared to N1 at the same level of power and area efficiency. Now, Neoverse N2 is also the first platform to feature SVE2, an ARM v9 feature that drives large improvements in cloud-to-edge performance efficiency. For a broader set of use cases like machine learning, digital signal processing, multimedia, and 5G systems, SVE2 not only brings performance, but also the ease of programming and portability, which is a key technology at the heart of the ARM-based Fugaku supercomputer, currently the world's fastest. There's a lot of momentum behind ARM technology for infrastructure, as shown by several major announcements at NVIDIA's recent GTC event last April, starting with Grace. Grace is NVIDIA's first ARM-based data center CPU. It will deliver 10x the performance of today's fastest server, running some of the most complex high-performance computing workloads. Next, NVIDIA and Marvell are collaborating to bring GPU acceleration to Octeon, the ARM-based family of data processing units from Marvell for enterprise computing, 5G infrastructure, and edge applications. And finally, a new NVIDIA ARM HPC developer kit. This kit includes an Ampere Ultra CPU, which contains 80 Neoverse cores running up to 3.3 gigahertz, dual NVIDIA A100 GPUs, each of those delivering 312 teraflops of floating point deep learning ML performance, and 2 NVIDIA Bluefield 2 DPUs. The National Center for High Performance Computing in Taiwan is one of several computing centers initially deploying this dev kit. And scaling edge to endpoint, ARM is enabling specialized processing solutions across a diverse range of IoT solutions. And similar to how ARM powered the smartphone revolution, we now have the same opportunity to do that for IoT. The combination of IoT and ubiquitous intelligence will ultimately change our lives, much the way smartphones did. Smartphones and related devices such as tablets and wearables have resulted in the data we generate growing at an exponential rate. It's now estimated that humans produce 1.7 megabytes of data every second. However, IoT, which will see far more connected devices than there are people on this planet, is poised to generate more amounts of data over a massive variety of devices, including intelligent sensors and actuators. These are capable of monitoring anything from vibration to voice to vision, really along with almost anything else one could imagine. These devices are everywhere, from industrial sites to security cameras, smart watches, smart homes, even vehicles with increasing levels of autonomy. And with more than 70 billion ARM Cortex-M Class 8, IoT runs on ARM. Because we're the industry standard for IoT, it's our responsibility to remove the barriers for deployment of IoT at scale by working with our ecosystem around areas such as security and safety. However, to realize the promise of IoT requires a shift from processing learning data out of the cloud onto endpoints at the edge, as many companies are not even close to maximizing value from their data. Just look at a recent study by Strategy Analytics, which determined that only 1 to 12% of company data is being analyzed because sending vast amounts of unstructured data to the cloud is expensive, causes bottlenecks. It's highly inefficient in terms of energy bandwidth and computing power. The ability to do advanced localized processing and analytics can really help to reduce latency for critical applications, lower dependencies on the cloud, and better manage the deluge of data being generated by all these IoT devices. To ensure this happens, we are committed to enabling on-device machine learning from the tiniest sensors to voice assistants to industrial applications. We envision a world where no device is left behind. More on-device intelligence means that smaller cost-sensitive devices can be smarter and more capable while benefiting from greater privacy and reliability due to less reliance on the cloud or the web. To achieve this, we're enabling device makers and developers to deliver machine learning locally on billions of devices. And last year, we brought to market a new suite of AI-capable processors to enable our partners to build specialized IoT solutions to ensure on-device machine learning on the tiniest devices can now become commonplace across a vast range of life-changing applications. Here you can see that ARM offers the broadest range of ML solutions for AI endpoints that scale up to 100 TOPS. Our latest solution combines the Cortex-M55 and the industry's first micro neural processing unit, the Ethos U55. These deliver a massive 480x performance uplift for ML processing relative to previous solutions. To further enable our partners to bring specialized processing to endpoint AI, we've evolved our business model to make ARM IP more accessible than ever. ARM Flexible Access is a fast and low-risk path to market for endpoint AI applications. This has been one of our most successful offerings ever. In just under 2 years, we've signed up more than 90 partners. More than half of these are first-time ARM partners, the majority being early-stage innovative startups. ARM Flexible Access allows SoC designers to download, experiment, design, and manufacture with a wide range of ARM IP. In addition, tools, training, and engineering support are also provided. Now, as the license fees are not payable until the finished design is ready to tape out, Flexible Access members can experiment, start, stop, or pivot their projects at no commercial risk. Everything needed for designing specialized SoC solutions. Now that you've heard what we've been doing to enable our partners, let me share with you a few examples of how they're developing new specialized processors to accelerate ubiquitous computing. Our longtime partner MediaTek have been delivering specialized processing solutions for many years in the mobile space. And recently they partnered with NVIDIA to announce a specialized reference platform for an AI-enabled thin and light laptop. We have several other partners in Taiwan in early stage development of specialized processors for AI, including SunPlus and Himax. SunPlus is developing an SoC that combines an ARM Cortex-A CPU, Mali GPU, and our Ethos neural processors. This SoC has been designed specifically for autonomous robotic industrial applications. Himax is working on their next generation AI SoC uniquely designed for always-on smart cameras that's based on the Cortex-M55 and Ethos U55 solution I mentioned earlier. And very recently, we collaborated with our partner Arçelik, a major appliance manufacturer in Turkey, on a thought experiment to see if adding AI to existing refrigerators could help reduce energy consumption. Now, for context, refrigerators are typically the second biggest consumer of electricity in your home, gobbling up 13% of your total energy bill. I didn't realize that, actually. Arçelik developed a lightweight reinforcement learning engine, RL, to be run on Cortex-M class processors. They analyzed in-home behavior, not big data sets, to see if they could minimize temperature fluctuations that occur when you open and close the door. The smaller the fluctuations, the less power consumed by the compressor. Now, it found that such a system could reduce power by an estimated 10% in existing refrigerators with no additional bill of material costs. If you use better compressors to get the same result, it could add more than 30% to the retail price. Now, Arçelik extrapolated on their data and found if this technology were flashed in the refrigerators across Europe, it could eliminate the need for 9 power plants. Just think of that. 9 fewer power plants by taking advantage of processing power that's already there with a fairly sim models and data sets. That's amazing. Looking ahead, we see an incredibly bright future for what's possible in the ARM ecosystem. Now, especially when you consider the future of ARM with NVIDIA. The combination of ARM's compute platform and ecosystem with NVIDIA's deep expertise in artificial intelligence will create the world's leading company for the edge of AI. A combination that will bolster our R&D capability, lead to new and exciting products that will further accelerate ubiquitous intelligence. Now, I am personally very excited about the opportunities we can provide to our partners as one company. There are so many ways that ARM is accelerating ubiquitous intelligence, and today I've just scratched the surface of what we're doing to enable it. But the one thing that is clear is that the type of intelligence does not happen without specialized processing, and ARM is the world's most popular specialized processing platform. And our new ARM v9 architecture will be the foundation for the next decade of compute as specialized processing becomes the new norm for computing. Thank you for your time today. I look forward to seeing you all in person next year at COMPUTEX. 谢谢。
Good afternoon. Welcome to the online COMPUTEX Forum. I'm Stephen Chen from Delta Research Center, the corporate R&D unit of Delta Electronics Incorporation. Before I start, I would like to thank TAITRA and TCA for inviting Delta to join with industrial leaders and speak on the topic of AI empowerment. In this session, I will share our experience in enabling an AI empowered, or like what we like to say, intelligence-driven manufacturing. I also talk about our views of how to speed things up and what Delta has been doing in practice. It has been an exciting journey, and we are privileged to be able to work with external and internal partners to make real changes. But first, let me quickly introduce Delta. As one of the world key providers in switching power supply solutions and thermal management solutions, Delta has been coming to COMPUTEX for a decade. In 2019, Delta's exhibition featured the cutting-edge 8K display technology. And last year, we showcased the IoT-based solutions for buildings at the COMPUTEX talk. 2021 is a big milestone for us, as we are celebrating Delta's 50th anniversary this year. The theme, Influencing 50, Embracing 50, is to signify our gratitude to the employees, customers, and all stakeholders worldwide for a decade of support. We pride ourselves as being a good corporate citizen committed to helping the world lower carbon footprint. Since 1971, Delta has been leveraging the core competence in high-efficiency power electronics to support emission reduction initiatives. Our corporate mission, to provide innovative, clean, and energy-efficient solutions for a better tomorrow, will guide Delta's commitment to sustainable conservation, nurturing life for the next 50 years. With an overarching goal of smarter, greener, together, Delta began the journey from enabling automation to transforming manufacturing with AI, from data to value. Now, let me talk about the big picture, what we base our approach on. In 2018, through the collaboration with Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, Delta and our corporate lab at the school released a white paper titled Toward Manufacturing on Demand. The document discussed a paradigm shift for the manufacturing industry and challenges facing manufacturers. Our view took shape following the network with the advanced factories in China, Japan, Singapore, and Germany. Now, having lived more than 1 year under the pandemic, all this seems to be even more pressing and real. As the slide shows, from left to right. First, today's customers are more demanding and diverse. They keep manufacturers busy trying to meet the needs for personalization and immediacy. Plus, we also have to tackle the economic and political uncertainties. We need to rethink our supply chain strategies for long-term relevance. What's more, compliance requirements are getting stricter. This puts more pressure on low-volume, high-pollution firms and will reshape the manufacturing sector in developing economies in order to achieve sustainability. Last but not least, manufacturers of all sizes must be aware of profound implications that disruptive technologies have on their businesses. Over the past few years, we witnessed the reshoring of manufacturing out of developing countries. The closer proximity to industry customers and growing consumer demand for customization call for more agility and flexibility in production. We believe advanced technologies will power a new breed of factories. These new facilities will no longer compete on scale and cheap labor, but instead, they will thrive in the new era by embracing an approach known as manufacturing on demand, or MOD. It is especially so for discrete manufacturing. Here is a high-level overview of MOD. It presents the key technology areas from the company level on the top down to the machine level on the bottom of the graph. We believe that the ultimate goal is for a manufacturer to translate these technology into long-lasting competencies at each layer. As we are discussing AI here, I will focus on the foundation of all these elements: a transformable and intelligent machine. Like I just mentioned, as the demand for customer-specific solutions grows, product variants proliferate and product lifecycle becomes shorter. While many manufacturers don't want to miss out on the high-mix, low-volume orders, they also consider it imperative to maximize the utilization of their production equipment. They grapple with many challenges, like how to make a machine versatile enough to outlive various product variants, and how to revive a machine by adding advanced functions when new customer demand arises. We believe a transformable intelligent machine is the answer to these questions. Also, as intelligent planning and execution at the factory start from intelligent machines. Machines should be able to operate autonomously in a mode that best suits the current product. They should also have a framework that allows easy deployment of algorithms or any update and upgrades, better done remotely, to lower costs, and in today's situation, to avoid social contact and protect workers. With the concept of MOD in mind, my team, the Intelligent Mobile Machine Team at Delta Research Center, created the Transformable Intelligent Machine, or TIM, to support the frequent changes in manufacturing. So, what is TIM? As its name suggests, TIM is designed to adapt to quickly changing manufacturing requirements. Plus, it can instill intelligence into manufacturing process. Each and every TIM has modular and standardized hardware and a PC-based control system, which enables easy mix and match of machine functions as needed. As the intelligence part comes from AI-powered smart apps. With the apps, machines not only collect, process data, but are also able to support the deployment of AI algorithms, which has been a bottleneck that troubles all data engineers. Because even you could add sensors or use software to get data from your legacy machines, it is still very difficult to put the AI model to work on the production line to cope with change requirements. With the combination of TIM control system and AI apps, we can not only increase the efficiency of machine changeovers and process tweaks, but also continuously optimize production with the ability to nimbly adjust the production line configurations and enhance machine operation by incorporating digital twin, predictive maintenance, and visual inspection. With internal and external partners, we have been rolling out TIMs in Singapore's Industrial 4.0 initiatives and at Delta's own factories. We are humbled by the positive feedback and hope that more partners will join us to advance the progress of smart manufacturing. Next, I will share 3 potential TIM use cases that help speed up intelligence-driven manufacturing. first is one of the most common AI applications in manufacturing: automated defect classification, or ADC. In factories, ADC is crucial to quality control and workpiece position calibration. It uses image recognition and captures and analyzes image data to achieve immediate flaw detection and optimal quality. Meanwhile, visual recognition algorithm also helps correct the deviation of robot arms and object position on conveyor belts, automate positioning and track production precision levels. All are day-to-day practice in any factory. Life is always easier when we only have one product to inspect and one set of parameters to deploy. When product, process, or environment changes, the modified algorithms based on the new changes will need to be deployed quickly to machines to maintain quality and adaptability. By adopting a PC-based framework, the process can accelerate. For instance, if we need to add one more step to the production process, to take photos and add the algorithm for visual recognition, we can drag and drop the modules and quickly finish programming. When we have better algorithms, we can also quickly replace the old one and increase the accuracy. Predictive maintenance, PDM, has been one of the most sought-after applications in factory. Even before the pandemic, ADC AI software focuses on the quality side, and PDM AI software deals with operation matters of the factory. Cost saving from avoiding downtime and efficient use of engineers' time is the key incentive for manufacturers. And PDM can evolve to be more than just generating alerts for engineers to make adjustments when it combined with TIM. For every parameter optimization action, TIM's control system makes it easier to perform adequate adjustment on the motion control of machine to keep the production line running. As shown in the two charts here, when the anomaly is detected via analyzing data collected from sensors, it's only half of work. With TIM, engineers can program the robot motion control to manipulate the force based on data to delay the wear and tear, or to adjust the route plan, or to speed up or slow down the movement, keeping it at the optimal operation status, and most importantly, buying time for maintenance and arrangement and keeping the smooth flow of production. This is because with TIM's control system, it's easier for engineers to use the control systems of different machines rather than having to learn to work with each and every system when the new machine comes online. So, even if you have different machines on the production line, the system makes it easier to accommodate modules coded in general programming languages. This would enable a factory to easily complete the whole cycle of PDM, collect data from sensors, use algorithms to predict status, and use the PC-based control system to quickly respond to anomalies and send a message to motion control for adjustment. Meanwhile, the data collected from sensors can also be put into the virtual environment as a base to modify the mechanical properties and behaviors of machines. That leads us to the third AI application, the digital twin. We are often asked, what's the difference between digital twin and simulation? Isn't digital twin a new word for simulation? The answer is yes and no. Because as the technology and algorithm evolves, now we can better fit the real data into the model to produce a virtual representative of physical machine. And when we have digital twin with TIM, that's the recipe for highly efficient production. And it will be a seamless one. Here, we have 4 scenarios that will show you how can we use digital twin to enhance operation to meet production needs, while optimizing machine setups agilely and improving efficiency. The upper left video is what you can do before the actual operation takes place. It's more like the traditional simulation. It shows how the actual process will look like. And when you look at the lower right corner here, it shows the use case of digital twin for productivity optimization. As you can see, there's a virtual replica of a production line. At the factory, whenever there are changes, for instance, you need to produce an urgent request of a small amount of customized product using the same line. Digital twin will enable a more efficient use of physical machines by running it virtually first, then apply it to the physical lines. Moreover, it can help the production process to adapt by applying the optimized flow that is generated by analyzing real data from machines. You don't need to look at the animation and then do the programming on the control system of machines. With the TIM control system to connecting the virtual and physical side, the work can now be done in a relatively seamless way. What you see is what you get. And one programming works for both the physical machine and its virtual twin. It also enables you to apply machine learning on your machine control strategy. In the past, engineers would need to teach the machine by giving specific instructions. One order for one action, and adjust the instructions based on observation of the physical action of machines. That's time-consuming and labor-intensive. Now, with digital twin combining with TIM, engineers can give a task and let the machine learning do the tuning. Also, at the upper right corner, you can see both physical machines and its digital twin. What is done in the digital one will reflect in the physical world, and vice versa. TIM's control system structure allows manufacturers to perform a seamless flow with less resources, both in terms of time and human effort. Intelligence generated from the data analysis from the machines can be used to optimize the flow, and the new flow can apply easily back to the physical system. With that, we expect that more AI applications can be implemented in the factory, pushing the progress of smart manufacturing further into the next level. To sum up today's sharing, we designed TIM to consist of physically compatible elements. This way, it can balance the standardization and modularization. To change the function of a machine, one can swap out the major components or modules. Alternatively, the function can be redefined or reconfigured by software. The intelligence of TIM lies in its ability to learn from vast quantities of data and act autonomously in different scenarios. By using the TIM's control system, AI applications like optical inspection, ADC, PDM, and digital twin can be incorporated with TIM easily. The next step will be adding mobility to the otherwise standstill machines to further enhance its flexibility. There is a popular proverb saying that if you want to go quick, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. The realization of manufacturing on demand and Industry 4.0 calls an ecosystem of players that can augment the offerings on the platform. So, we are happy to be here to share our view and roadmap with all. We hope that you can join us to be our potential partners, growing business based on a new model. We believe only by sharing with our partner the value co-created from the open platform will we truly accelerate the intelligence-driven manufacturing. Thank you again for joining today's session. And apart from this sharing at the forum, we also want to invite you to Delta's May exhibition at the COMPUTEX virtual site by using the QR code on the screen. Each year, we design our theme and exhibition by selecting content that can best capture the current attention of the society and our corporate key development. You can find solutions for building automation, energy infrastructure, data center, and communication power on our virtual site, as well as our energy and ViviTech products and solutions. We hope that you will enjoy the virtual experience and look forward to meeting you soon in physical exhibition. Thank you.
Hello, welcome to COMPUTEX. I'm Raj Hazra, and today I'm excited to talk to you about why memory is at the heart of AI innovation. But first, a few things we have to get over. The safe harbor statement. I hope you take a few seconds to read this, and then we'll get on with the topic at hand. The first thing I want to talk about is the pervasive growth of artificial intelligence fueled by the tremendous amount of data that exists in the world today and is getting added on a daily basis. In a short matter of 4 years, 90% of enterprise applications will embed some form of AI capabilities in those applications, whether it's in conversational interfaces, whether it's in how they deal with multiple sources of data to train and make predictions versus simply being told to model and simulate, whether it's in the applications they enable, from smart manufacturing to smart ways of dealing with customer relationships and supply chains. Artificial intelligence is in everything that these applications do. Along with that tremendous growth of application capability using AI, in that same time frame, the number of organizations that will operationalize AI systems, take those capabilities from test and dev, or trials or early POCs, and make it the way those businesses operate, is going to be tremendous growth from what we see today or have seen in recent years as experimentation to how the lifeblood of those organizations are run. Whether, again, it's in how they create products and services, to how they maintain their own supply chains and manufacturing, or even how they look at their talent pool and acquire new talent, grow their talent base. All of those aspects of the business is going to be touched by the power of AI. So with so much growth and so much potential for AI, the big thing we have to think about is how do we continue to enable it? And this is, as practitioners of the craft, is what we see as our challenge, our calling to deliver on. What is that challenge? The challenge is essentially the exponential growth of the need for infrastructure to keep up with the promise of what AI has to deliver. On the left of this slide, you will see a chart that shows the number of parameters in a model to deliver a useful outcome, to deliver a model that can deliver useful outcomes across a broad spectrum of uses. I'll give you one example, and that's on the slide at the top. GPT-3 is about 175 billion parameter model. It's an open source model well used today for natural language processing, learning natural languages. And it's widely accepted as one of the best known ways of doing things. But in the short span of 2 years, we're not talking about 1.6 trillion parameter models. 1.6 trillion parameter models in 2021 using things like mixture of experts and sparse transformers. The promise of AI is that AI gets more accurate, gets more effective, and gets more pervasive as a result. The challenge it poses is this tremendous complexity of compute, which you see on the right-hand slide, to deliver the capability to make that AI, to make those more and more intensive models come to life. But much has been said about the compute portion, and it's true. We've gone from teraflops to petaflops to exaflops in a short matter of years, truly an exponential growth. But what is not as often talked about is compute or computing is starved without equivalent or sometimes even faster innovations in memory, particularly in memory capacity to store the data that these models, that these algorithms use, and most importantly, the performance that is required to continue to feed these increasingly data hungry, increasingly powerful compute engines. Simply put, just working on making compute more performant and energy efficiency is necessary, but not sufficient to solve the problem. We at Micron focus on ensuring that AI's full promise is delivered through innovations in memory and storage, working in partnership with those that build compute. Delivering this balanced capability between memory and storage and compute requires us to look at that growth of AI complexity in two dimensions. One is what we call the scale-up dimension. What do we mean by scale-up? Scale-up simply means providing more compute, memory, and storage for a single instance of what you want to use the training for. It could be a single node in a server. It could be a single shared memory cluster. But as powerful as they can get with advances in memory and storage, bandwidth, capacity, and compute performance, they're still limited by what you can physically, technically, and even economically can compute or make available on a single node. The other dimension, while each of these units of AI become more powerful, is to connect those units and scale out. And this is where hyperscale is really, really a tremendous move forward. Being able to connect in a distributed sense, in a distributed way, these elements of AI generating, instances is the holy grail of achieving essentially unlimited scale. You're no longer captive to what a single instance can do. It's the collection, the power of the collection that enables you to scale out and tackle problems well beyond even that 1.6 trillion parameter models that I was talking about. And when we add on what we can do, not just in the data center, but take it out to the edge, to the billions of computing instances armed with memory and storage that can effectively work together to solve some of these problems, the possibilities are endless. When we talk about memory innovations for AI, the first thing we have to go back to is recognize what a tremendous change, just in a matter of few years, the computing platform for AI has undergone when we talk about memory and storage. Just a few years ago, I remember it used to be a CPU, direct connected DRAM, and then a hard disk, and soon thereafter came an SSD. The world is no longer that simple. The world cannot be that simple anymore because of the needs of algorithms like AI that require a much more sophisticated approach to how memory and storage is created for those kinds of workloads. As you see on the slide, the near memory that used to be just direct attached is now a combination of in-package memory, something like high bandwidth memory, as well as increasingly more powerful direct attached memory, DDR4, DDR5. But there is a new instance of memory called far memory. The world would love to have all of its memory as near memory, but there are technical challenges to doing that and economical challenges to doing that as well. With the advent of platform interconnects like the Compute Express link, which you see here on the second instance of far memory, what you will see is the ability to add memory, both capacity and memory bandwidth, without being constrained to what you can directly attach, and creating new memory tiers, the CXL attached memory tier, and perhaps the further in that far memory of storage class memory. This is before you go into storage and potentially use storage with software innovations as memory as well. So what you see here is for algorithms and workloads like artificial intelligence that are both compute and memory intensive, fundamentally they're data intensive algorithms. You need to create a hierarchy where two things happen. You need to have a memory hierarchy, and you need to converge at some point the memory and storage hierarchies so data seamlessly flows from archival storage, where it may have been collected and kept for processing, all the way into the hot little compute engines that are going to create those insights. All in all, it isn't quite like it used to be, but it can't be what it used to be simply because we have new things to work on, like artificial intelligence, which produce things and benefits that we've never been able to realize before. I talked about the power of then taking these kinds of innovations on a single server or a single instance of AI compute and spreading it using applying the power of distributed computing. And this is the other place where there's tremendous innovation possibilities in how these system architectures are created using the power of pooling, disaggregating memory, storage, and compute, as you see on this slide, no longer having every instance have compute storage memory, but distributing these resources and building them, composing them for the exact size of the workload, for the exact point of time, at the exact point of time, for the amount of time you need it to execute the workload in a hyperscale infrastructure. So this provides the ability to have exactly the right amount of resources in memory and compute. For instance, to have a balanced memory compute engine for a certain amount of training for a particular algorithm in AI. It allows for the ability for multiple models to be running at the same time, and therefore bring essentially that unlimited scale with high efficiency to solving even larger problems for AI with innovations in system architecture, as you see here, including hardware and software. The possibilities are truly endless for where these system architecture innovations can go when memory and storage is capable of being disaggregated, pooled, and used differently than we've ever used them before. And that is our focus at Micron. At Micron, we look at the possibilities of new kinds of system architectures, new computing paradigms that we can enable by unleashing what memory and storage can do when we go away, when we evolve from the old model of memory and storage attached to compute to memory and storage distributed and being assembled and synthesized for the purpose at hand with the requisite amount of compute. All in all, it's a completely new world of possibilities, and we're excited to be innovating at all scales, at all levels of memory and storage technologies to make this future come closer, happen not days, not years, but today. If you look at why our excitement is so high, it's not just because of the possibilities, but it's because of our own belief in what we can do. As demonstrated on this slide, we have a tremendously capable, broad, comprehensive portfolio that we can build on to deliver the vision that I just talked about on the previous slide. High bandwidth memory, direct attached memory, high performance graphics memory for workloads that require specific performance and capabilities, and now CXL attached memory that we will talk about more in the days to come. Matching that memory portfolio is our storage innovation and the portfolio that has resulted from it, from high performance SSDs on NVMe to very workload focused hard disk replacement SATA based SSDs built on our NAND technologies. All in all, this is an arsenal that continues to get better as we bring these capabilities from our process and nodal technologies to design and even to systems and software that we take forward to build out these capabilities of the future. At Micron, nothing excites us more than innovating both for the customer and with our ecosystem. We are committed to being customer focused, solving the problems that they need solved within the constraints that they need the solutions in. We are committed to being innovative, to drive relentlessly the pace of innovation, take on challenges, and solve those challenges with commitment, with creativity, and with passion and perseverance. And we are committed to being collaborative in order to bring the best of the ecosystem's capabilities, our partners, our suppliers, and our customers even, into building these solutions for tomorrow. It is our mission, therefore, and our commitment that we will continue to do so and continue to be at the heart of AI innovation. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Kev. I'm the cybersecurity evangelist from Checkpoint Software Technology, the Office of CTO. I'm also the head of security engineering for the Checkpoint North Asia team. Today, I'm very happy to be here to present the topic, the cybersecurity risk management during and after the pandemic. Since early last year, many cities were being locked down because of the COVID-19 situations. People cannot go back to the office, and so that they have to working from home or from the hotel. And in result, 87% of worldwide employees were working remotely. To support the business continuity during the pandemic, company implemented different type of tools to enable the remote workforce. Obviously, the remote access solutions like VPN, which allow the employee remotely access the company applications and data. And the tools like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, WebEx, the teleconferencing tools, or some other remote collaboration tools, which enable the employees to continue to meet with somebody, with the customer, with the internal. And company also are investing on building the virtual desktop infrastructures, which is the same idea as a VPN, but in a different form factor to allow the employees to working remotely, and they just remote to the virtual desktop, and in the desktop they can make use of those applications to accessing the customer data or the business relevant informations. And last but not least is the cloud service and applications. Because of the pandemic, it's accelerated the company the speed to moving to the cloud, moving the application to cloud service like Microsoft Office 365, Google G Suite, Salesforce, Slack, ServiceNow, this kind of cloud-based application. And also, our company start moving the infrastructure as well to the public cloud platform like AWS, Microsoft Azure, and Google Cloud Platform. Remote work is now the new world. I believe everyone aware of this or has the same thought about this trend. In 2019, if you look at the number, it's talking about almost 400 million of people work remotely worldwide. In Q1 and Q2 last year, the number is more than double. Of course, it's because of the COVID the situations. But if you look at the number in 2022, 23, and 24, you will see the number of remote employees, the number keep increasing every year. The reason behind is, like, first of all, we already get used to it, right? So because of the situation, and the tools that we are using now is very comprehensive. And from the company point of view, allowing staff working from home, they see the benefits. Of course, the staff can work from anywhere and anytime. And from the company point of view, they can also saving costs, such as the rental for the office premises. So this is the motivation of company start offering their staff to work remotely. And some of the big company like Facebook, Microsoft, this kind of big guy also allows that they will permanently allow the staff working from home. To the IT operation is a very challenging. First, the overlay transition to a fully remote work routine force security team to act very fast to allow the business continuity. They need to reviewing the and changing the policy, the VPN configuration, and also make sure the performance of the connectivity. And also, the immediate need to equip so many employees that used to work on stationary desktop with security laptop and VPN. This is also the challenge to the IT operation team, how to them enable this kind of large scale remote workforce capability. And another problem is how to providing a secure connections at such scale to so many employees to all the corporate assets, including the sensitive data. Literally means more issue, the disconnection, misconfiguration, and that obviously means more support ticket that the security team need to address in a timely manner. And while the volume of tickets has dramatically increased, security team in most companies haven't expanded. These two challenges are adding up to existing challenge in endpoint security that we have been seeing in the past year. Many companies are using multiple solutions from different vendors to secure their endpoint device. And it is very complicated to manage, especially in such critical times, to manage and monitor security from completely different management consoles. The immediate shift to remote work caused by COVID-19 largely changed the way we work and live. All across the globe, companies have to completely make significant infrastructure changes so that employees could work from home. Many organizations shift to up to 100% of employees working from home every day. Remote work is not new to most organizations. However, there are three major differences that make endpoint devices valuable than ever before. Before COVID-19, most companies keep their most sensitive assets strictly protected, allowing employees to access the data only from the on-premises network. In the new normal, companies have to open the access to this application from remote endpoint to ensure the business continuity. In the past, only few people in the organization used to work from remote, like the sales rep. In the new normal, everybody works from home. This first new remote workforce has never had to develop a high security awareness, since it's used to protect by the enterprise level security. And this remote workforce now extends the organization attack surface, as it is more susceptible phishing scam, malicious email, and data loss incidents. Because of the large scale of people working remotely, and the endpoint or the device is no longer being protected by the enterprise level security, the hacker immediately takes the advantage. Here is result from our database, looking at the attack numbers and all the cyber threat related statistics from 2019 December to 2020 April. If you look at the chart, you will see the attack dramatically increased at the time. And for example, we recorded over 68,000 domain registered at the time is related to coronavirus. But more than 50% of this domain are likely to be malicious due to the activity. For example, we see the domain was used as a phishing campaign. And in terms of the number of attacks, we recorded over 20,000 attacks in a day at the peak time, which is a very huge number compared to the time before the COVID-19. In terms of the attack, one of the biggest increase of the attack is the vulnerability exploit targeting the remote access tools. For example, if you look at the Citrix, the VDI solutions, we recorded more than 2,000% increase of the vulnerabilities targeting this platform. And of course, some other tools like Cisco or other like VPN technology, and obviously the remote desktop protocol was being targeted due to the remote workforce situations. And not only the remote access tools or some other like platform allow us to work remotely, even though the tools we use daily are also vulnerable. It is the fact that every application or OS come with vulnerabilities, but as a vendor, they will keep improving their platform, providing fix to fixing those issues. As a user, we have to keep the application updated. Like Google Chrome, the most popular web browsing. A couple months ago, Google warned both Mac and Windows users of their zero-day fault they find in the Chrome browser. They immediately provide the update and encourage all the user update the latest versions to avoid those issues. Not only the endpoint computers, we have to take care also of our mobile device, because today we are working from home or working from everywhere. We are not just using the endpoint computer. We're also using our smart device to accessing the company email, for example, accessing company application and data. This is one of the findings that we released a few months back. We identified there's 9 utility applications which is available in Google's Play Store. The app itself comes with a malware dropper, which means that once the app is installed in the smart device, they can do some malicious activities. For example, recording your screen, look at your SMS. This is something that we need to aware, like the security, talking about endpoint, not only PC, but also the mobile device. Enterprise are hyper-distributed, the environment. Applications are deployed everywhere, and at the same time, users are accessing this application or data from everywhere today. So there's 3 areas they have the top priority. First is the security removal force. Second is the endpoint and mobile security. And third is the public cloud or multi-cloud securities. How we can take better control to support the business continuity, at the same time, secure way to allowing the people work from home or work remotely. So there's 2 principles. First, everyone is responsible for security. It is not just the IT people or the security people who should take the responsibility for security. It is actually everyone in the organization. They have the security mindset. They have to have the awareness of the cybersecurity and also the impact about if they don't do it right. And second is to secure a complete infrastructure by design. The security have to implement it from end to end. First, what we should do, keep your PC or mobile locked when you are away. Okay, it's very simple. If you walk away, make sure your computer being locked. Otherwise, someone can access your computer and get the data inside. Next is update the OS and application when update is available. Install security software on the endpoint, PC or mobile. And fourth, change password regularly. This is very important as well. If you look at the third-party or even checkpoint research, talking about over 90% of attacks start from phishing. The phishing attack means the hacker will try to using the phishing technique to get the user credential. So the user credential is very important today because a lot of applications we can accessing from anywhere because the application is now on the cloud. If you have the credential, you can access the application anywhere. Same if you have the credential leakage, the hacker can make use of the credential to accessing your application and the data inside. And fifth, contact your IT if you find any suspicious. Yeah, if you see any suspicious, don't worry, contact the IT team, they will help you. Okay, what we should then do. First, don't click on any link which you receive from someone you don't know. As I said, over 90% of the attacks starting from phishing. So if you're receiving an email or the message from someone else you don't know, don't click on the link. And second, don't download application from a trusted source. And don't use your corporate credential for public service. The problem is here, even though your company has very good security to protect their infrastructure as well as the user identity, but it doesn't mean the third party doing the same way. If you're using your corporate email and password to register service to the third party service, if the third party is being compromised, the credential leakage, for example, if the hacker seeing the username is a company domain, they will immediately try to make use of this username and password to accessing the application, for example, Microsoft Office 365, to try if they can success to log in. Because nowadays, a lot of companies using Office 365 email service, and they will also try a different type of cloud-based application with the credentials. And don't use simple password. Don't connect to untrusted Wi-Fi. If in case you connect the Wi-Fi is a malicious Wi-Fi, what happened? the hacker is able to monitor all the internet connectivity. Don't share your corporate PC to others. Last but not least is don't pay for ransomware. We do see like a customer, they pay for the ransomware, and 2 months later, they get the ransomware infection again. The reason is, as a hacker, they make use of ransomware to make money, right? So if this company, they're willing to pay for ransomware, then next time, they will also willing to pay. So as a hacker, they will keep targeting this company. Okay, now we talk about the end-to-end security for the remote workforce, applying the zero trust principle, starting from the infrastructure, the connectivity, and the devices. There's a different scenario, how people are working today. They are working from home, they're working on the go, using their smart device, or they're working inside the office. And the application or the service they're accessing is now available in the internet as a SaaS service, application in the public cloud infrastructure, or in the data center to protect the complete infrastructure. A lot of different technology we are using, like the protecting the endpoint, protecting the mobile device, and preventing phishing, the email security, secure remote access, intrusion prevention, and so on. The people will think that it's very easy to manage, but think about the number of tools that you're using. It's not just 1 or 2. It's talking about maybe 20 or 30 tools. And when you look at the issue, for example, if the incident happened, now you need to identify where it's come from. Also identify the attack surface is a mess, right? You have to access a lot of different consoles. And also from the user experience point of view, like the user, they're using a lot of different tools for their work. Now they need to connect the VPN and then go into the remote desktop infrastructures. And also some of the applications, they need to use multi-factor authentications. And when they download files, they will see the endpoint inspecting the files. So yeah, the user experience is not really good. And yeah, it's very complicated. So the challenges are, first, there's no central platform to manage security operations. So because we use a lot of different tools, and the tools were not decided to work together because it's come from different vendors. They have their own ecosystem, so that a lot of time we have to using the manual process, which cause the inconsistency. So to answer those challenges, the strategy in Checkpoint for 2021, the platform that we build is following these 3 requirements from customer. First, we offer the best prevention technologies to make sure our customer environment is being protected at all time. And second is our golden standard management, which is one of the market leading management platform, which can manage all the Checkpoint product in one single console. And last but not least is the technology that we build is fully integrated. The endpoint, the mobile, the network security, also the IoT is fully integrated. So the benefit to our customer is, first, they can manage their security component from one place. And second is the security solution that we offer with the best prevention in the market. And third is all the technologies are being well integrated. So for example, in the endpoint, detected the malware. Of course, we will block the malware. At the same time, this signature or this MD5 will automatically send to our cloud, and then our threat cloud, the threat intelligence, will automatically push this new update to all the Checkpoint product, to the firewall, to the mobile threat defense solution, to the cloud security, so that if the malware we see in the network coming from the network, we can block it immediately. How to implement the security? Now we have the ideas. If you look at the market, the technology trends, one of the technologies, security as a service edge. The SASE concept, the key idea is, first of all, the security is delivered as a cloud service, so that you don't have to deploy any appliance in the network. Everything is just using the cloud service. And second is the SASE platform is not only offer one or two security functions, but offer multiple security functions, including but not limited to next-gen firewall, URL filtering, data loss prevention, email security, and so on. Both user and authors can make use of this SASE platform. Everything is being secured once the connection established to this SASE platform. Last but not least is the SASE platform allow the administrator to create a policy to limit the access to only the authorized user or authorized applications. For Checkpoint, we build our own SASE platform. We call it Harmony. Harmony is a SASE platform unlike the SASE solution in the market. Most of them is basically firewall as a service. The firewall as a service is completely rely on the VPN technologies. So to accessing the security service provided by this cloud platform, you have to establish a VPN connectivities, not only from the branch office or the roaming user, but also your data center or your cloud infrastructure, so that all the connection is being interconnected through the VPN. It creates complexity of your overall network topology because you have to build a lot of VPN tunnel to connecting the infrastructure and the user each other. Yeah, you have to also take care of the failover, the resilience of the VPN connectivities. It's very difficult to manage this type of environment. The firewall as a service only cater a part of the security concern. Harmony, the platform that we build, answer those challenges. First of all, Harmony is a cloud service, like the SASE concept. And second is we license it as a user-based subscription. And once you subscribe, you can enjoy all the security features that we offer. And third is very important, is the deployment. It's very flexible. We support different type of deployment scenario for VPN client so that you can install the client or establish the tunnel from the branch office router to our Harmony Cloud platform. But we also offer two more options to allow the user to make use of this security service. First is the client-less connectivity. The client-less connectivity, the idea is you don't need to install the agent, first of all. What you need is just a web browser, like Chrome, like Microsoft IE or Firefox or whatever. So you just, as a user point of view, they just go to the portal and then log in with the credential. And that's it. And then they can accessing the application that offered by the company, including the web application, SSH, database application, and even remote desktop. So they can launch a remote desktop on the web browser. And third, we offer the very lightweight agent. We call the nano agent technologies, which is a web browser plugin. You just download it and install it in the web browser. All the internet connectivity will inspect, download the file from internet. The link you access, if this is malicious, we will notify the user. And also the phishing link, we will inspect the content in the web. And once we identify this phishing link, we will prevent the user to input their user credentials. The Harmony platform is more than just a cloud service like other SASE vendors in the market. We also include two very important components, the endpoint and mobile security. The Harmony platform is not only protecting the infrastructure or the connectivity, but also the device itself. With one single endpoint agent, we can now have the legacy endpoint security features, the features like firewall, encryption, and antivirus, combined with the latest one, Next-Gen AV, and also the EDR. And for the mobile, protect the user downloading malicious applications. You notify the user if you see the device connecting to a malicious Wi-Fi, and also look at the device level vulnerabilities. Another beauty is everything is managed from one place. Infinity Unified Management Portal is not only the policy management, but also the logging, the event analysis. So everything you need is just log into the portal and you can manage all the checkpoint components from one single pane of glass. With the Harmony, we can manage security across and from the endpoint device to the infrastructure and to the connectivities. But we still have a few more challenges to handle. First is about the global talent shortage. Last year, Forbes have a research is indicate we need over 3 million security experts worldwide to support the company's security operations. But over 64% respond they have difficulty to find the right person or the capable person to help them to manage the security operations. Another problem is the overload of alert. We have a lot of technologies to protect the environment, more than 10,000 or 100,000 log and event a day. So how we can handle these volumes of alert? Because every single alert, we have to spend time to look into it to make sure the alert is not false positive if it is false negative. And so the people, the IT team is spending all of their time to handle this alert. They don't have time to handle other stuff like monitoring KPI so that they can make the necessary improvements, for example, the overall security readiness or effectiveness. So how we can handle this challenge? In 18th century, we start to use machine to replace human power. And now we are aiming to replace human brain with AI. A lot of companies investing billions of money in the AI technologies because they see great value, including like enhancing customer experience, result to increase the customer loyalty and create more business in return. And AI can also help to automate the operations to achieve cost saving. And the fact of the matter of AI, machine learning, deep learning, or big data analytics are actually virtualize the cybersecurity. They allow us to mechanize tasks previously only handled by the smartest human analysts. They are capable to make sense of a huge amount of log data. And at Checkpoint, we acknowledged this potential a few years ago. So we start to implement the AI technology into our platform. Here's some idea how we make use of AI to help our customer to handle those security challenges of the alert overload, shortage of security analysis. So first engine I would like to talk about is the campaign hunting. Before we using AI, our analyst was looking at the malicious element to track back their origins and incriminate similar elements. For example, domain registered by the same person at the same time with the same path. Now we use AI technologies to mechanize this analysis process. Our algorithms are now capable to analyzing millions of known IOC and hunt for additional similar IOCs. We add this AI engine to our threat count back in 2016. In result, more than 10% of the attacks we brought today are based on intelligence gained solely from campaign hunting engine. And the next one, we call it Huntress. The purpose of this engine is to uncover malicious executables. How we can determine if this is trying to do something bad? Lucky for us, attacker rarely ever writes everything from scratch. Most of the case, the hacker will make use of the existing malware with certain modifications. So fundamentally, there are certain similarity to the previous known malicious executable. We're using our dynamic analysis platform to let the executable one and connect hundreds of one-time parameters, feed them to the AI-based engine, and ask the engine to categorize the executable. The result is 13% of the new malicious executables were detected are based on finding solely from these engines. And the next one I would like to talk about is COMPUTEX, one of the latest engine we are using today. COMPUTEX stands for Content-Aware Detections. Because of the end-to-end security platform that we build and offer to our customer, it gives us the access and visibility into all parts of the IT infrastructure, the network, the data center, the cloud environment, the endpoint device, the mobile device, and so on. Rather than inspecting an isolated element, we can look at the full section context. Did it come through email or as a web download? Who is the sender? When was the domain registered? By who? And so forth. We extract thousands of parameters from the inspected elements and its context, and using the COMPUTEX AI engine, we are able to reach a single accurate verdict. And the result is very encouraging. We improve the accuracy, at the same time, we reduce the false positive. And the result is about 10 times less false positive compared to detection without COMPUTEX. And the last one I want to talk about is the Analyst Mind, which is an AI-powered event analysis tools. The idea of Analyst Mind is to help our customer to identify the actual infections in their network infrastructure. Here's an example from one of the customer in a week is talking about 59 million of logs according the endpoint, network, cloud, mobile, and IoT. There's 3,000 malicious activities, and it involved 40 targeted assets. Imagine if it's a human, look at every single event to identify if the asset is actually infected. It will take a lot of time, weeks or months to make it happen. But with the AI engine, the Analyst Mind, we can identify this machine in a very short period of time. Based on this subsequent behavior, we can determine whether this machine is actually infected or is false positive. To summary, AI is very useful. The machine-driven algorithm is capable of a much broader analysis scope. It helps us to predict unknown threats to have a better protections. It empowers quick response with increasing accuracy and precision. To secure the remote workforce during and after the pandemic, first of all, we have to build an end-to-end security to protect infrastructure, the device, and the connectivities. And second, make use of the tools that, for example, the AI tools, Analyst Mind and Checkpoint, to help you to minimize the workload to handle those security alerts. Thank you very much.